Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We are here at the ETSI event, NFV ISG, the 7th such meeting in Santa Clara this time in California. And I'm talking with Marie-Paul Odini, who is the Chief Technologist, HP Communications Media Solutions at Hewlett-Packard. Marie-Paul, great to see you again. It's
Great
lovely
to
and
see you, Martin.
summery out there, but it's air conditioning here anyway. I'd like to talk to you about NFV, if I might. Phase 1 is now getting close to completion. Why is the technology so very important? What role did HP play in its development? And looking forward, what role will HP play as Phase 2 of NFV begins?
Yeah, as you said, NFV Phase 1 has made, good progress. We started, with a small team. Now we have 300 attendees here. And we've completed 20 plus specifications. The SWA specification has been released. It's in the open area along with some others. And we are focusing this week to do consistency review across the specifications. So yeah, we are almost, there. Thanks to the collaboration of, all the teams across industry. So major achievement, we have to, recognize that. The technology is key. What is even more important is the ecosystem, that we are putting together around this new technology and this new business model. And definitely, we've proven with the technology and all the different specifications according to different use cases, requirements, and the proof of concept that virtualization can be applied to telecommunications. And the next step is going to be to actually make that real. So phase 1 was very much around pulling together the ecosystem, putting together specification, starting some proof points to show that it's feasible. Phase 2 is going to be about, making that real and deploy, and do that in a multi-vendor, open ecosystem type of environment, but still delivering the carrier grade and all the, quality of service that are required for telecommunication.
Okay, thank you. What effect do you think Phase 2 is going to have? We've seen NFV come from theory to practice, to proof of concept very, very quickly indeed, starting from very small base, mushrooming to become this big thing. What's going to happen in Phase 2?
We expect that to be also a big thing. We also have some work going on to shape Phase 2 and to start to think about topics. We have identified some follow-up work out of Phase 1 from a number of working groups. We have new topics also coming from, expanding the scope of Phase 1 in certain areas. Typically, I've worked on 2 work items that are being discussed this week. One is around NFV Infrastructure as a service, which is coming out of the fact that with NFV, it opens up new business model and new capabilities. So this is one example of it. And the other one is SDN within an NFV framework. Since, as you know, we worked very much on Phase 1 on focusing on NFV. We have a few examples of SDN here and there in SWA, in infrastructure. But it's very scattered, and as the industry evolves, it's very clear that there is a need to integrate NFV with SDN, and it's occurring in some SDO and open source. So we really want ETSI NFV to shape the requirements and the usage for carrier environment of SDN with NFV. So that's the purpose, for instance, of these 2 work items. Other work items will also be proposed, in the coming months. So we'll have, lots of work as well in Phase 2. And we expect, this industry collaboration to also happen in Phase 2 and in a more concrete way with real integrations and maybe specifications going into more detailed, maybe more normative, and having some interop tests and things which are really driving proven implementations into deployment.
You've released this product, NFV Director. Where did the idea come from and why did it go in that particular direction?
So there are maybe two streams, meeting each other.
Yeah.
One is HP expertise in the OSS space for the telecom business. We are, one of the leading vendor in this space.
Indeed.
And as NFV comes to place, there is a very key role of having OSS, for NFV and this orchestration function.
Indeed.
To be performed, especially in this multi-vendor, virtualized environment. ETSI has specified, some requirements and architecture guidelines around this component, NFV orchestrator and the VNF manager. And so based on that, we defined, and we produced this component, which is called NFV Director inside HP. We've been through a number of, proof of concept. We're actually running, tens of proof of concept and trial with customers and other vendors. And so this is something, quite real and solid. And actually, according to our customers, this is the most comprehensive, open and flexible NFV orchestrator, in line with the ETSI specifications and truly multi-vendor. We've integrated with lots of vendors already.
A final question, always like to ask one of these looking forward. So the next ETSI meeting, NFV ISG, which is, there's going to be one, of course. What about for the future, Marie-Paul? What do you think lies ahead for NFV in the next, well, things move so quickly, but let's say the next year?
So you've heard about the work we are doing to shape phase 2.
Yes.
There's been a meeting in Bonn. There are some proposals on the table. Things have been approved today to extend for another 2 years and so on. So phase 2 is very much focused around turning, all this NFV thing into something real. Mm-hmm. And there's also lots of work to coordinate with the SDO and the open source. So there will be the ETSI track that we are defining right now with a number of work items in different areas that we've started to, put in different bubbles and so on. There will be the role of the liaison with the SDO and the open source, which is very critical. There is this new open source track that is being started in Linux Foundation around open platform for NFV. HP is very active there. We've been, we are in Bonn. We've just had the chairman moving to HP, so we had Pradeep also, doing that. And we are also very active in the open source, where we are on the board of most of these open source, OpenStack, Open Daylight. We are very active on the open platform NFV as well. And so phase 2 will really, make this very concrete. At the same time, it will also become more concrete, within a service provider with deployments that are aiming to happen in the coming year. And the whole industry will, progressively evolve to this more open, flexible type of environment with new business model popping up, and so that's, I think, a very exciting perspective for the telecom industry.
Certainly is. It's very, very busy. There's a lot going on, as usual. Marie-Paul Odili, thank you.
Thank you, Martin.